Veterinarians of Reddit. What is something most pet owners can do to make their pets' lives better? Not let them get overweight. Get their nails trimmed regularly. Licensed vet tech. This isn't about quality of life but quality at end of life. Make sure you're with your pet when they are put down. Chances are it's at a vet clinic, the scariest place for the pet, and people leave the room because they just can't bear to watch. What a sad way for your pet's life to end. Some vets will come to your home to euthanize your pet. Read up on the food you buy for your pets. You might actually be spending more money for shittier quality food. Visit your pets when they're sick and staying in the veterinary clinic overnight. Obligatory not a vet disclaimer. When my cat was sick, I'd visit him at the vet every day and bring an old towel so he would have something soft to cuddle that smelled like home. After a few days, the staff mentioned a lot of people don't do that. The animals think they're being abandoned and they get depressed. They don't understand why they're here. 20 minutes of mama time lets them know they're still loved. Vet tech here. Not the asshole ls. Regular dental visits go a long way to a healthy and happy pet. Of course, grooming, nail trims, fresh food and water, and regular hospital visits are all extremely important as well. And use tick, flea protection. From my former vet tech girlfriend, don't leave your pets to be euthanized without you. It's hard to be there and it's hard to watch, but if you leave them they will die scared and looking for you. She had to try and comfort pets whose owners couldn't bring themselves to stay, and it's one of the few things that makes her cry. Not a vet, but I take care of many pets as a side gig. The biggest thing you need to give, but most people don't, to your pet is exercise. Much like humans, modern pets are at risk of being overweight, which leads to other health issues. So get them moving. Walk your dog. Or your cat if they have the right temperament. Play fetch with them. Get them to chase something. Keep them active and they will be happy and healthy. In connection with that, get a pet with the same activity requirement as you already conduct. Don't get a German Shepherd if you live a mostly sedentary life, as their anxiety they get from a lack of activity will cause both you and them no end of grief. Also, don't expect the simple fact that you have a dog to give you an excuse to increase your activity amount. I'm not a vet, but learned from cardiologist veterinarian that is advisable to ask for vet to take the blood pressure of your cat starting at age 7 and to do SDMA test to rule out kidney failure. No vet ever did this with my cat. He's 16 now, lost his vision suddenly. We took him to the ophthalmologist and he suspected kidney failure, sent me to cardiologist for high BP, and he's on medication and special food now. He's doing great too, thankfully. I think the best thing you can do for your new pet, especially a puppy or kitten, is handle it a lot when they're young. Getting them used to having their feet handled, nails trimmed, mouth opened, even extra benefit if you get them used to teeth brushing daily, gold standard for at-home dental care. Ears touched, particularly breeds prone to ear infections, huge benefit in the future if you have to administer topical ear medication. Restraint is also a big thing. I always tell my clients to practice restraint with their animals. That wriggly puppy that is cute when it nips when you hold it still grows up into a large dog that can't be safely examined because it hasn't learnt to be okay with restraint. Rather than just getting them a bunch of toys and hoping that keeps them entertained, just sit on the floor and actually interact with them for a bit. Establishes a connection, and is cheaper than a bunch of fancy products that you toss to them and hope they are enthralled. Train them. Not a vet, but buy pet insurance. You don't ever want to forego a medical procedure because you couldn't afford it. Get your old babies checked out, cats and dogs. They get sore joints like old folks do too. If you notice your cat doesn't jump anymore or drags the self up the bed, maybe their joints are sore. Go see a vet and see if they need long-term pain relief. If your old lab is slow to rise and fast to lay down, go to the vet. They might be able to go on long-term pain relief. The amount of old animals I've seen turn into a puppy again is amazing. Pain relief, folks. Also dentals. Damn son, cats have teeth too. Get them checked at the vet and see if they need a dental. Just basically go to the vet and get your animals checked out. You don't win a prize when you come in with an old skinny, chronically painful dog saying, "This is his first ever vet visit." Consult with a vet if you are trying to make your animals food. They need nutrients, minerals, vitamins, not just fat, carbs, and protein like other living things, and can't just live off of 3 pounds of raw chicken. P.S. While a raw diet can be okay if formulated by a nutritionist, it's rarely necessary. According to my sister, a licensed vet with a specialty in exotics, especially herps. Abiding by, if you can't afford the vet, you can't afford the pet. Period. End of sentence. If you do not have the financial ability to take your pet straight to the vet when they start having symptoms instead of when they're bleeding out various orifices and showing signs of a condition incompatible with life, you should not have that pet anymore. Rough but true. Don't give them corn cobs on the 4th of July. I'm not a vet but a vet nurse and technician. Please, if you have cats, invest in their environment enrichment. Play some cat videos for them when you're not using the TV. Invest in good toys and water fountains. Buy some cat grass, and remember, 2 cat litter boxes per cat. Regular checkups and take care of their diet. Preventive medicine is the most effective one. Don't hold on when it's their time to go or quality of life is so poor. Do it for them, not for you. Get some bloody insurance. I love this question so much. Don't buy intentionally crippled breeds with known health conditions like snub-nosed dogs. Care starts with choosing your pet. What hobby will you never understand? Exploring caves. Especially after reading about Nutty Putty Cave and that guy who died after getting stuck in a tunnel upside down. Watching mukbangs doesn't sit right with me, I find it kind of gross. No limits free diving. For those who don't know what no limits free diving is, let me explain. You take a deep breath and go down to extreme depths with a weight, 100,170 feet, and then go up by inflating a balloon. If that balloon does not inflate, then you just die. Why would anyone risk their lives to do that? I'm a pretty bad golfer, showing no real signs of improvement, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. I have no explanation. Sneakerheads. Like you're just giving Nike a lot of money for special sneakers. And usually the special ones are pretty ugly. I just don't get it. Collecting dolls. How TF do you sleep at night knowing Annie and the squad are planning your death upstairs? Child beauty pageants. More specifically, people who have this borderline pedophilic idea that they need to force their 5-year-old to get all dressed up and go on stage to be gawked at by a bunch of old men and feel no sense of disgust with their own exploitative use of their kid that could have had a more respectable talent that they actually chose to do. Maybe I just don't get it, but there's something slightly menacing about the whole practice. Spending tons of money to make your vehicle really, really loud. Extreme ironing. Just why? My ex had this hobby where she would dress up like herself, then go out and act like a completely unreasonable psychopath towards food service workers. Those very loud motorcycles that make everything in the vicinity shake. How are the drivers not annoyed by this constant sound and shaking? People who collect shoes. Expensive athletic shoes. They're shoes. Funko Pops. Trolling. I get it as an occasional decision, because sometimes people need to be taken down a peg. But as a full-on, actual pastime? Come the fuck on, people, how pathetic is your life? Edit. Gotta say, my Reddit comments that gain traction are never the ones that I think they'll be. Exotic pets. Imbecile people who try to popularize it. I've never had much interest in collecting. I understand it to some extent, like being an amateur museum curator, but a lot of the stuff people choose to collect really doesn't make much sense to me. Summoning ghosts, demons. Not sure what people are trying to gain from that. The whole self-mutilation thing. Implanting donuts in one's head or horn bumps, splitting the tongue down the middle, stretching out giant holes in various parts of the body, etc. I don't understand, but hey, you do you. Dancing on TikTok. I actually don't understand my own hobby, collecting video games. You can play most any game on a modern console in some way or on Steam. And this doesn't even touch on other methods of playing games. This is way easier than playing games on old hardware. There is the nostalgia factor, but the amount of work to keep old games running is insane. Something is always breaking, and it's only getting worse as the consoles age more. For the amount of time I spend fixing games and cleaning games so they actually work, I could be playing them easily through another method.